22 people. That's the number. 22 people who came near one ancient tomb and then died. The press called it a curse, a supernatural punishment from a 3,000-year-old pharaoh whose sleep was disturbed by greed and ambition. But here's the thing that nobody talks about. What if the real story is even more disturbing than a mummy rising from the dead? Death shall come on swift wings to him who disturbs the peace of the king. That's the warning, they say, was carved into Tutankhamun's tomb. November 4th, 1922. Howard Carter, a meticulous, obsessive British archaeologist, punches a hole through a sealed door in the Egyptian desert. His financial backer, Lord Carnarvon, leans in and asks, "Can you see anything?" Carter pauses. Yes. Wonderful things. What they'd found was the most intact royal tomb in recorded history. King Tutankhamun, a boy king who ruled Egypt at 9, died at 19, and was buried with over 5,000 artifacts. The world lost its mind. The press coverage was insane. Every major paper on Earth sent journalists, cameras, correspondence, radio broadcasts, all of it pointed at this one dusty hole in the desert. But the story was about to get a whole lot darker. April 5th, 1923. Lord Carnarvon is dead. He'd been bitten by a mosquito on his cheek. He nicked the bite shaving. It got infected. Sepsis set in. Within weeks, gone. And then the details started leaking out. At the exact moment Carnarvon died, 2 a.m., every light in Cairo went out. A citywide blackout. No explanation. Thousands of miles away in England, his dog, a fox terrier named Susie, let out a single howl and dropped dead. The press had their story, and they ran with it. Over the next decade, journalists tracked every person who had ever set foot near the tomb. And when they died, and people die, that's what people do. The reporters printed their names. A radiologist who x-rayed the mummy, dead. An Egyptologist who handled the artifacts, dead. A financial secretary who visited once, dead. 22 names, 22 deaths, all blamed on one ancient curse. But let's pump the brakes, because the foundation of this entire story, it's built on a lie. Remember that inscription? The one that threatened death to anyone who disturbed the pharaoh? A reporter made it up, completely fabricated. There is no such inscription inside Tutankhamun's tomb. Never was. Howard Carter and his entire excavation team knew this, and they never corrected it. Why? Because the myth was good for them. It kept tourists at a distance. It created mystique. It gave the discovery staying power in a news cycle that was already moving on. Carter, the man who physically cracked open the sarcophagus, who handled the mummy with his bare hands, who breathed the air of that sealed chamber every single day for 10 years, lived for another 16 years. He died in 1939 at age 64 of lymphoma, natural causes. The curse forgot about him. So what actually killed Lord Carnarvon? It was 1923. Penicillin didn't exist yet. A mosquito bite the kind you get 100 times a summer could kill you if it got infected. That's not a curse. That's just medicine before antibiotics. Some researchers did find something interesting though. A fungus, Aspergillus niger, a mold that can survive for thousands of years in sealed chambers. When you open a tomb and breathe in that ancient air, you're inhaling whatever survived in there. Could it cause respiratory illness? Maybe, for some people, in some conditions. But a targeted supernatural curse? No. As for the Cairo blackout, power outages were common in 1920s to Egypt. As for the dog dying at the same moment, when you account for the time zone difference between Cairo and England, The timings don't even match. And here's the stat that kills the myth. Of the 26 people present at the opening of the tomb, the average age of death was 74 years old. In 1922, when global life expectancy was 55, these people didn't die young, they lived long. So why did we believe it? Because we wanted to. 1922 was a world reeling from World War I. Millions dead. Empires collapsed. The old certainties were gone. People were hungry for wonder, for mystery, for proof that there were forces in this universe more powerful than human stupidity and human cruelty. A 3,000-year-old pharaoh reaching out from beyond the grave to punish the arrogant, that was a story. That meant something. And the media then, just like now, knew exactly what to do with a story like that. But consider the irony. Tutankhamun was buried in a rush. He died young. His name was chiseled off monuments. He was erased from history, deliberately forgotten by the pharaohs who came after him. And then Howard Carter blew a hole in a wall in the Valley of the Kings, and Tut became the most famous pharaoh who ever lived. The boy king didn't curse his discoverers. He owed them everything. Here's what I want you to take away from this. The mummy's curse was never about ancient Egypt. It was about us, about what we choose to believe, why we believe it, and who profits when we stop asking questions. A reporter invented a warning inscription and never corrected it. An entire mythology grew around that single lie. 22 names were dragged into a narrative they didn't choose, their lives and deaths weaponized for clicks, for papers sold, for fear manufactured. That playbook didn't die with the 1920s. You see it every day. Something weird happens, someone adds a dramatic detail, the story spreads faster than the correction ever will. The question isn't whether the curse was real. The question is, what other curses have we invented and chosen not to question? Tutankhamun rests, and we are left to reckon with our own myths. If this made you think, share it. Drop the most surprising fact in the comments. And if you want more stories like this, stories where the real truth is wilder than the legend, subscribe, because we're just getting started.